But could all these stories just be myths? Is there really something in that restroom, or is it just our imagination playing tricks on us? I'm Kim, and this is Hung Channel.
What if a seemingly innocent school restroom holds a dark secret? In the quiet corridors of a 1950s school, rumors swirl about a haunting presence in the third stall. As whispers echo in classrooms, students exchange stories of eerie happenings, but no one knows the truth behind the legend. Tonight, we uncover the chilling tale of Hanako-san, the girl who never left. Chapter 1. Why the toilet? Why 3? According to the legend, summoning Hanako-san is not complicated. At night or after school hours, you go to the third floor restroom of a school. From the entrance, count to the third stall. Stand in front of the door, gently knock 3 times, and call her name 3 times in a row. If a response comes from behind the door, it means she has heard you. As for what appears after that door opens, there has never been a definitive answer. And perhaps because of that, most versions of the story end right there. Among all school ghost stories, the toilet is a contradiction. It is used every day, yet no one wants to stay. It is a public space, yet it must be entered alone. The moment the door closes, the world is split into inside and outside. Sounds grow louder. Time stretches unnaturally. People instinctively move faster, driven by a single thought, to leave as soon as possible. And why the third stall? The first is too close to the entrance. The second still feels safe. The last stall is too deep, too deliberate. Only the third sits at a perfect distance, not near, not far, just enough to provoke imagination. And then there is the number 3 itself. 3 carries ritual power. Third floor, third stall, 3 locks, 3 calls. This is not coincidence. It is a structure, a sequence that is easy to remember, easy to imitate, easy to repeat. Once the process exists, the story is no longer just a rumor. It becomes something that can be activated at any time. Chapter 2. When was she first called Hanako-san? Many people assume Hanako-san was created by films and anime of the 1980s and 1990s, but her origins go much further back. As early as the 1950s, in post-war Japan, elementary schools across the country already shared a warning. The third stall of the toilet should not be entered. At that time, there was no name, no fixed image, only whispers, voices behind the door, unfamiliar replies, and a stall that should never be opened. It wasn't until the 1980s that these scattered elements began to merge. The name Hanako of the third stall started to circulate. By the 1990s, through movies, anime, and manga, her name, location, and summoning method were fully standardized. From that moment on, simply hearing her name was enough. The rules and images appeared automatically. She became a shared memory of an entire generation, and one of the most famous and unsettling figures in school folklore. Chapter 3. Who is Hanako-san, really? So the question remains, who is this widely known presence? Where did she come from? Among the countless materials gathered online, there is no single accepted truth. There are many versions of her origin. Some say she returned to school during a holiday for extra lessons, was chased by a pervert, hid in the toilet, and was killed there. Others claim she was a child abused at home for years, whose resentment never faded after death. Another theory suggests She didn't die in the toilet at all, but elsewhere, her spirit lingering in the most isolated space within the school. Yet her appearance is strikingly consistent: a white blouse, a red skirt, short hair with straight bangs. She looks like a lower grade elementary school girl. It is an appearance that is not frightening, almost too ordinary. There is even a trace of old-fashioned innocence to it, and that is exactly what makes her disturbing. She is not a monster. She does not resemble an evil spirit. She is simply a child who should not be there. Chapter 4. Records of those who were left behind. In Japan, privately compiled folklore and yokai archives do not treat Hanako-san as a single incident, but as a collection of oral records spanning regions and decades. A 1992 record from Yamagata Prefecture notes that when her name is called at the designated spot, a clear reply can be heard from inside the store. In Tochigi Prefecture, multiple reports from 1999 describe the same phenomenon. Lock 3 times, and the door knocks back 3 times, perfectly synchronized, as if someone were truly inside. Shimane Prefecture warns that if you call Hanako but refuse to play with her, she will chase you. Hyogo Prefecture records insist that once her name is called, you must immediately apologize, or something bad will happen. There are also cases where the store door opens on its own, without any external force, yet nothing is inside. What makes these records unsettling is not whether they can be proven, but their consistency. Different prefectures, different decades, different age groups. Yet the descriptions remain eerily similar. Chapter 5. The toilet was never only Hanako's. In Japanese folklore, toilets are places where impurity gathers. They are also seen as thin boundaries between this world and the other side. Some households even venerate protectors associated with purification, such as Uchosuma Myu, acknowledging that toilets are, indeed, places where things can happen. Stories like Akai Kami, Aoi Kami, Red Paper, Blue Paper follow the same terrifying structure. You're asked the question you must answer. Once you do, it is like signing a contract. The thing behind the door gains permission to emerge. This question and answer mechanism mirrors Hanako-san's ritual closely. Lock. Call her name. Wait for a response. The moment a response comes, that is when the real fear begins. Even older yokai, such as Akame, are said to lurk in bathrooms and toilets, feeding on filth and grime. These creatures feel like warnings. Neglect something long enough, let it accumulate, and one day it may grow a tongue, begin to breathe, and turn into something unsettling. Chapter 6. If she has always been there. What makes Hanako-san frightening is not whether she will appear. She does not harm people. She does not deliberately scare. She does not present herself as a grotesque figure. She simply stays there, in the darkest place, waiting to respond to the one who seeks her. You'll notice something peculiar. There is no first time in any version of her story. No one knows who knocked first. No one remembers the first child who spoke her name. It is as if she has always existed in schools, in places where no one should linger, in the moment of unease that arises when someone enters a toilet alone. So if one night you pass a school long after its lights have gone out and notice that one restroom is still lit, you might tell yourself that someone simply forgot to turn this off. But as you approach, you will instinctively begin counting the stalls. 1, 2, 3, not because you are curious, but because you know if a response comes from behind that door, it means she has been there all along, waiting for you to knock.
I'm Kim. Please subscribe, like, and share. And stay with me. You will never face the dark unknown.